Good afternoon and welcome to English Story Time with Mark. I'm Mark. Today we have a special treat. We're going to be reading a story by H.P. Lovecraft, who is one of the great horror writers of all time. He wrote mostly in the early part of the 20th century. He wrote both novels and short stories. The story we're going to be reading today is called Dagon. So let's get into this now. I write this while I can still think clearly. Soon, I will lose control of my mind. Before that happens, I must tell my story. Maybe someone will understand, though I doubt it. The truth is too strange and horrifying. I used to be a soldier, a captain in the Navy. During the First World War, my ship was captured by an enemy vessel. They took me as a prisoner, but I managed to escape on a small boat. For days, I drifted alone on the ocean, with no food or water and no hope. One morning, I woke up to find that my boat had run aground. The sea had changed. I was no longer on open water. Instead, I was surrounded by a slimy, dark plain that stretched as far as I could see. The smell was awful, like rotten fish. I realized that some massive force must have pushed the ocean floor to the surface, creating this strange, horrible landscape. At first, I stayed in my boat, too scared to leave. But as the days passed, and the sun baked my skin, I had no choice. I stepped onto the sticky ground and began to explore. The mud was thick and clung to my boots, making every step slow and difficult. Dead fish and strange sea creatures lay scattered everywhere, their bodies decaying under the hot sun. After 2 days of walking, I saw something in the distance, a hill, rising above the endless plain of mud. It gave me hope. From the top of the hill, maybe I could see where I was, or find a way to escape this nightmare. When I reached the hill, I realized it wasn't made of earth or stone. It was black, covered with ancient carvings, symbols and images that looked like they came from a forgotten time. In the middle of the hill, there was a large rectangular hole, like the entrance to a tomb. It was filled with water, dark and deep. As I stood there, staring into the hole, something moved beneath the water. A shape began to rise. It was a creature, taller than any building I had ever seen. Its skin was gray, slimy, and covered in scales. Its head was huge, with bulging eyes and a wide, gaping mouth. It looked like a fish, but also like a man, an impossible mix of the two. The creature climbed out of the water and stood before me. I froze, too terrified to run. It lifted its arms to the sky and made a sound, a deep, rumbling noise that I felt in my chest. It seemed to be praying or calling out to something even greater than itself. I don't remember how long I stood there watching. My mind was breaking. At some point, I turned and ran, though I don't remember doing it. I stumbled back to my boat and pushed off into the water. The ocean had returned, covering the terrible plain. I drifted for days, half mad with fear, until another ship found me and brought me home. Now, I live in constant fear. I cannot sleep. I cannot forget the creature I saw or the feeling that it was only the beginning. I have read old books that speak of ancient gods who ruled the earth before humans existed. They say these gods will return one day. I believe the creature I saw was one of them, or at least a servant. I cannot live with this knowledge. Tonight, I will end my life. If you are reading this, do not search for the creature or the plane. Some things are better left undiscovered. The end. And that was a very typical Lovecraftian, a Lovecraft kind of ending, where there's no release, there's no escape. The thing, the creature, it lives on as strong and as powerful as ever, and it can be a threat to mankind forever, apparently. I hope you enjoyed that story. H.P. Lovecraft is a great writer. If you enjoy the horror genre, horror and fantasy, I strongly recommend checking out his other stories. I hope you enjoyed it, and it will inspire you to read some more. Anyway, thank you for your time. Have a great day, and I will see you next time.